Guys, I am so excited. I just opened my Etsy shop yesterday and I'm already quitting my job. I'm rich. Truthfully, that doesn't really happen. So I'm not going to show you how to make $1 million in this video, but I am going to show you how to get your first 100 sales on Etsy and do it in the fastest way that you possibly can. And the information in today's video applies to the print-on-demand business model, and we're going to be utilizing a tool called Sale Samurai. I have linked a free trial for you down below so you can test this method out for yourself. And before we jump into the how-to, I'm just going to highlight some of my new students' results from using this method. Now, the hardest sale to get is the very first sale, and once you get one sale, you know that you are cut out for this, and you can get 100 sales, you can get 10,000 sales simply by duplicating what you just did. So let's take a look at some results. And these are from my Facebook group. So this guy said after learning about Sale Samurai, he totally changed everything he was doing. His listings are now showing up on page 1 by finding those niches that aren't saturated. He was able to sell his first 3 items. And so he said, convinced Sale Samurai is a game changer. This is another coaching student. He got up 32 listings after attending a coaching call that my husband and I did, and then later that evening, he said, boom, just found out 3 shirts ranked on page 1, and they are on the 2nd row. And then a few days later, he got his very first sale. Here is another coaching student who claims that she struggles with design. However, our SEO training is so good using Sale Samurai that she made 1 listing and she was able to get her very first order. Here is another coaching student who stayed up all night creating some listings, and the very next day she was able to sell 4 shirts, and that is simply from following the training that we provide. So this isn't rocket science, it's incredibly simple. The only key to this is literally finding keywords that are being searched that are best-selling listings and that aren't competitive with a lot of other sellers. It's literally as simple as that, and it works time and time again. So the very first thing that I think any new Etsy seller should do is find themselves one mentor. And the reason that you should do that is because when you're first starting something, it's going to take you quite a long time to learn the ropes, gather all of the relevant information, to have a full plan in place to succeed. So if there's someone several steps ahead of you that you can learn from, that have already made the mistakes and that have found a duplicatable plan to follow, then it will make it so much easier for you to succeed in a much quicker time period and condense learning information yourself. And I recommend finding one mentor and listening to one person, because if you listen to 10 different Etsy sellers, you're going to get 10 different pieces of advice. And what's going to happen at that point, you're going to implement something for a week. And you're going to go, this isn't really working, so let me try the advice from this person. Try it for a week. This isn't really working, so let me try this advice. And then you're going to be spinning your wheels, going in circles, trying this and that and not getting anywhere. So if you listen to one person, then there's going to be less confusion and you're going to be able to follow more of a straight path and stay consistent with the information that they're sharing with you. And if you choose me to learn from, then I would absolutely be honored and thrilled to have you as one of my students. And if it's not me, if you don't resonate with my style, cool. Just go find somebody who you fully resonate with, that you believe that can help you get from point A to point Z of opening your shop and helping you get your first 100 sales. And I do have linked down below, in addition to the free trial of Sale Samurai, I also do have a 7-day free Etsy bootcamp. It's 100% free. You can join that, go through, even learn more about Sale Samurai, and probably get a lot of your questions about the initial steps of getting started with print on demand answered. So be sure to take advantage of all of those resources down below. And let's get into number 2. So number 2, you want to find yourself a tool that can provide you data and help you find those sweet spots on Etsy where there is not a whole lot of competition. And I have done this on 3 different stores in 3 different niches with 3 different business models. So I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that this is a repeatable process. This has resulted in multiple bestsellers in multiple stores, and I even have some listings on Etsy that have done over $20,000 in revenue on one listing, $30,000 in revenue from one listing, and well over $60,000 from one listing. And that is because I found the area on Etsy where there are bestsellers that are already proven, there are people searching and buying those things, and the competition is small. Because on Etsy, you can jump into a niche that has a lot of bestsellers and think, woohoo, this is going to be a winner. And then what happens? Your listing gets buried amongst 50,000, 100,000 other people, and it's just gone and lost in the wind, or like a needle in a haystack. Now, if you find that area where there's, say, 500 or less other sellers in that specific keyword, then when you make your listing, there's a really good chance that you're going to end up on page 1 rather than getting buried deep in the search. And from there, if you did a great job on your listing, you have a great product, your photos are beautiful and clean, then it's pretty much almost guaranteed that you're going to start getting a lot of sales. So this is probably one of the number 1 keys to my success on Etsy. So let's hop over to the computer and I'm going to show you exactly how this works. And the first thing you want to do is come over to the Shops tab and connect your Etsy shop, and that's going to update the API connection with this software so it connects to Etsy. And then we're going to go to search, and we're going to do a basic search. And if this is going a little slow for you, I do know that Sales Samurai is in the process of upgrading their server, so that should be sped up pretty soon. So you just type a basic keyword in here for an item that you want to do. For example, I typed in teacher shirts. As you can see, the keyword teacher shirts is very competitive. So right here where it says Etsy competition, anything over 50,000 is going to have a red circle. Anything that is medium competition is going to have a yellow circle. And then anything that is low competition is going to have a green circle. Now, really anything less than 15,000 competition is considered low competition. I tend to look for things more under 3,000 for this number. However, a lot of my bestsellers are at 500 for this number, 500 competition. So that means that I'm not competing with that many other listings for my keyword. Now, when you type in your keyword, you can scroll down and this is going to give you some suggestions for other keywords. Then over here, you can see some suggested tags. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can see some of the top listings for teacher shirts or whatever you typed in. You can see how many views and likes they are getting. You can also see the average price point down here and shipping times. If you want to look at some of the top listings, you're just going to click on that little eye there. And then you can see all of the relevant information about this listing, including all of the tags that they are using. And you can see how well they have optimized their listing. So this one is using all 140 characters, which is great. They're using 21 words. The description has 2,078 characters, and they're using 9 out of 10 image spaces. And then you can see what the search volume is for all of the keywords that they are using. And from here, there's several things that I would do. I would take each one of the keywords from their title and type in a basic search to see what the competition is. And then I can also go over to the Chrome extension and I can
type in that keyword again and sort the keywords by low competition to high. So that's going to list things in order, all the possible keywords that I can use, and it's going to rank it by the competition, what's going to make it super simple for you. But let's just go ahead and type in hello second grade shirt, which is the first keyword in their title here. And as you can see here, we have a winner. So it says Etsy competition is low because it has a green circle there, and it has 4,413 competition, which is considered low. I have found more quicker success with things under 3,000. However, this is still definitely worth putting up. So what we do is we find all of the keywords to comprise 140 characters of a title on Etsy, and we start with our lowest competition keyword first, because that's what's going to help us to show up in a smaller pool of keywords rather than jumping into just teacher shirts, which is a more broad keyword, and you're going to be competing with hundreds of thousands of Etsy sellers. So when you can find things like this, then you are going to be more likely to show up on page 1. And of course, that is if you also have good photos, your product is great, your design is great, and you have fully optimized your listing. So you can now go through all of the Hello second grade listings down here, run all of their keywords through the basic search tool here on Sales Samurai to comprise your own title. You're going to make your own unique title and do it by lowest to highest competition. So the lowest competition keyword is going to be in the front and the highest is going to be at the end. And I get as many low competition keywords as I can in there. Now, keep in mind, if you're just going surface level with what is available as soon as you just type in teacher shirts, right? What came up was hello second grade. Now, there's going to be a lot of people also using Sales Samurai that are doing the same thing as you that are going to start jumping into this. So that's where you want to maybe dig a little bit deeper and use the Chrome extension to start digging down into those niches and keywords that maybe not 4,000 people are listing on Etsy, but more like 2,000. So I'm going to link another video directly below in the description box where it's just a full overview of Sales Samurai so that you can get more of a feel for how to also use the Chrome extension.
Number 3, and this really specifically applies to print on demand, and you want to make sure that you are on trend, and that means what is in demand right now, what is popular, and what are people purchasing when it comes to, say, t-shirts. So for example, I had someone show me that they had added 200 t-shirt listings to their store and got 0 sales yet. And the reason that that is because they were using what I would call outdated fonts, and their designs just really weren't that good. They weren't relevant, trending colors. So if they had done maybe the same design, but in slightly different color schemes and with updated font, which is a retro, if you shop online at all and you subscribe to email newsletters from different shopping platforms, they're hitting on retro, 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 right? That is the style right now in 2022. So if you're not utilizing some retro fonts or even t-shirt styles, then you are missing the boat. So yes, absolutely, it must be on trend and in demand as a bestseller. Chances are, if it's not a bestseller, then nobody's buying it. Nobody wants it, nobody cares. We are here to fulfill the needs of others, not ourselves. Number 4, and this is a big one, it is about managing your expectations and not giving up too soon. So how many listings does it actually take to get your first print on demand sale? Now this can vary greatly because there are so many different factors, from good keywords, good designs, great mock-ups, filling out your listing completely. But from my own experience and from working with other sellers, it's going to be possibly somewhere around 50, but really it can be anywhere between 1 listing and 100 listings. And it can also depend on the time of year. If you've watched a lot of other YouTube videos, you know people just rave about how many sales that they make in November and December, and that's because that is when the holiday rush is. And it's true, you can make more in November and December than literally the rest of the year combined. So if you're a new print-on-demand store and you've been adding items to your store and you haven't seen much traction yet, and if you just keep adding those items, come November, you just might see all of that hard work pay off. So the goal with Etsy is consistency. So you want to give yourself at least a good 90 days of adding to your store consistently, building that habit of treating Etsy like a real business. If you were to go and work a full-time job for a full-time income, you would expect to have to show up to that job every single day, right? So why wouldn't you view starting a business in exactly the same time? Starting Etsy is sort of like pushing a boulder up a hill to get some momentum. Now, I did share in a video about how I listed a custom mug, and one person within a couple days came and purchased 50 of those. Now, is that normal or typical? No. However, when you are doing personalized items, you are definitely way more likely to get somebody to purchase a lot of those from you. So my best advice for managing your expectations is commit yourself to Etsy, to building your store over a year's period of time, learning as much as you possibly can in that year, perfecting your skills. If someone was to go to college, they would spend just 4 years learning to get a piece of paper, not even guaranteed to get a job that's going to pay them. So if you think of it in terms of, let me start a business and just continue to learn, and there's a potential that I can earn along the way, then you're going to be in a much better position than somebody that starts an Etsy business, adds to it for a week because they're super excited, don't see any results, and so they quit too soon. I can tell you that I have been working online since 2010. I have done loads of different business models, and Etsy in this whole period of time is my favorite because I think it is the most simple. And when I say simple, that doesn't necessarily mean easy. It means it's not rocket science. You do a few things repeatedly over and over, day in and day out, with consistency, right? That takes work. You do those things every single day, and over time, you can create a very successful business, quicker than probably most other platforms on the internet. So I hope that helps you to manage your expectations and understand what to expect when starting a print-on-demand business, and know that you are not going to set up your Etsy account, open it up, be quitting your job tomorrow because suddenly you're rich. No, that's not how it works. But yes, it's true. You can have a listing that starts generating a lot of sales, making you a lot of revenue, and then from there you can grow and expand. Now, number 5, I sort of just touched on with the last point, and that is daily activity in your Etsy store, because Etsy wants to know that you are serious. So if you are in there every single day, adding to your store, running sales, communicating with your customers, Etsy is going to give you a better quality score, and that ultimately is going to help your listings in the Etsy search. So if you can only add 1 listing a day to your Etsy store, do that. If you can do more, go for it. So in the beginning, yes, absolutely, consistency is key. Even if you are going on vacation, take your laptop with you, log into your Etsy shop for at least 15 minutes and do something, and then you can get back to your vacation. In the beginning, it takes a little bit of sacrifice. You have to put in that little bit of extra effort and elbow grease so that you can reap those rewards. And it's really such a small period of time that you have to put in that extra amount of effort. So just commit yourself to it and make it happen. Number 6, you want to actually utilize the paid Etsy ads. So as you start getting sales of items, you will know that your SEO is good and that the keywords are on point. So at that point, you can then turn on the ads for those listings. And I have had incredible success with Etsy ads, and I have yet to lose money on ads because I know exactly what Etsy is looking for. And even if you were to just break even on your Etsy ads, it would still be worth it because Etsy has a lot of repeat buyers. So if you broke even to get that customer from an Etsy ad and they come back to you the next month, then from there on out, when they purchase from you, then you're going to be earning profit from that customer. So if you aren't using Etsy ads yet, you are leaving tons of money on the table, and this will definitely help you reach your first 100 sales. So long as you have done the proper research and you've done the proper SEO or search engine optimization to your listing, and that happens with your title having the correct keywords, the description also having keywords, the tags, the photos, everything that you can possibly fill out in your listing to get yourself an excellent quality score with Etsy. And number 7, last but certainly not least, you want to expand upon what is already working. And I'm going to give you an example of this in my business. So about 2 weeks ago, I had a t-shirt in the teacher niche that has started selling, and I do have ads turned on for that listing. So I went ahead and added that t-shirt design to a sweatshirt, and I already knew that my keywords were good and the design was desirable because people were already buying it in t-shirt. So I put it on the sweatshirt, went ahead and turned the ad on even though that listing hadn't made any sales yet. And what happened? It literally sold a day later through an Etsy ad. Literally, it had 2 clicks and 1 buyer. So if you want to get to 100 sales quickly, definitely implement the information that I have shared in today's video. Get yourself a mentor, utilize Sales Samurai to research your keywords and competition. Make sure that you are listing products that are in demand and trending. Manage your expectations and understand that this is going to take a lot of consistency over the first year to really push that boulder up a hill and get your business to where it needs to be in order to be a successful business. Daily action in your store. Make sure that you are listing every single day and running sales. Run Etsy ads on what's already selling. And 7, expand upon what is already working. Implement these 7 methods over the next 90 days, and I am so curious to see what starts to happen in your business. So I hope this video has been super helpful for you. If you gained a lot of knowledge from this, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you're notified every single time that I release a brand new video on how to succeed with Etsy and print on demand. Don't forget to snag your free trial of Sales Samurai and sign up for the 7-day free Etsy bootcamp that I put together for you. Make it an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.